The Epstein case was supposed to be over. Closed. Finished. Buried along with him. But suddenly, without warning, everything just exploded back into the headlines. A billionaire caught in a shocking deposition. A criminal investigation reopened at one of Epstein's most secretive properties. And promises that long-hidden government files could soon be released to the public. The timing has left people asking one terrifying question: was the full truth ever really revealed? Or is this just the beginning of something much bigger? Because behind the headlines, behind the investigations, and behind the carefully worded statements, something feels different this time. For years, the Epstein story has existed in fragments, sealed documents, redacted names, and unanswered questions. But now, those fragments are starting to move again. And at the center of this new storm is a man who played one of the most important roles in Epstein's rise to power. Les Wexner. A billionaire. A retail empire builder. The man behind Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works, and Abercrombie and Fitch. But more importantly, he was the man who gave Jeffrey Epstein access to a world he never should have entered. Before Epstein became a household name for all the wrong reasons, he was known in elite circles as a mysterious financial advisor. And somehow, he managed to earn Wexner's complete trust. Not just basic trust, but something far deeper. Epstein was given extraordinary control over Wexner's finances. In fact, reports have stated that Epstein even held power of attorney over parts of Wexner's fortune. That meant Epstein wasn't just advising him. He had real authority. Real influence. Real power. To this day, people still ask the same question. How did Epstein, a man with no clear financial track record, manage to gain that level of control over one of the richest businessmen in America? For years, that question lingered without a clear answer. But now, Wexner himself has finally spoken under oath. And what happened during that testimony has shocked everyone watching. During a nearly 5-hour deposition released by the House Oversight Committee, the now 88-year-old billionaire described his relationship with Epstein in a way that felt almost surreal. He spoke slowly, carefully, giving long, winding answers that seemed to stretch far beyond the questions he was asked. He described Epstein as someone who had deceived him completely. Someone who had manipulated his way into his life without raising suspicion. Wexner insisted that he never saw it coming. That Epstein's deception was subtle, invisible. That he had no idea what was happening behind the scenes. But as the deposition continued, something strange became impossible to ignore. Wexner wasn't giving simple answers. He wasn't responding with direct clarity. Instead, he kept drifting into unrelated stories. At one point, he began talking about managing household inventory. Counting forks. Counting spoons. Describing details that seemed completely disconnected from the questions investigators were trying to ask. The tension in the room was building. The attorneys wanted direct answers. The committee wanted clarity. But Wexner kept circling around the questions instead of answering them directly. And then, something happened that no one expected. His own attorney leaned in close, believing the microphone wasn't picking it up, and whispered something that would instantly become one of the most talked about moments of the entire deposition. Answer the question. The words were quiet, but the message was clear. Even his own lawyer could see that Wexner wasn't responding directly. Both men laughed it off moments later. The tension briefly broke. But the damage was already done. Because that single moment revealed something deeper. This wasn't just a casual conversation. This was a high-stakes deposition tied to one of the most disturbing criminal cases in modern history. And people couldn't stop wondering. Was Wexner simply an elderly man struggling to explain the past, or was he carefully choosing his words? Throughout the testimony, Wexner maintained one central claim. That his relationship with Epstein was strictly business. That they were never close friends. That they never had dinner together. Never went to the movies. never even shared a cup of coffee. It was a statement that raised eyebrows instantly. Because Epstein didn't just work for Wexner. He operated inside his world. He managed his finances. He had authority over his wealth. He had access to his private life. Yet somehow, according to Wexner, they were never socially close. Even more bizarre was a moment investigators brought up involving a birthday message Wexner had written to Epstein years earlier. The card reportedly included a crude drawing and a joking message. When questioned about it, Wexner brushed it off as nothing more than a joke. Something meaningless. Something casual. But for investigators and the public, nothing about Epstein feels casual anymore. Every detail matters. Every interaction raises new questions. And just when people thought the deposition would be the biggest development, something even darker surfaced. Far from Washington, deep in New Mexico, authorities made a decision that sent shockwaves through the entire case. They reopened the criminal investigation into Epstein's private ranch. Known as Zorro Ranch, the massive property had remained one of the most mysterious locations connected to Epstein. Purchased in the early 1990s, it spanned thousands of acres of isolated land. It featured a mansion, private airstrip access, and complete privacy from the outside world. For years, rumors surrounded what happened there. Investigators had looked into the property before. But in 2019, the investigation was halted. The reasons were never fully explained publicly. The case simply went quiet. Until now. New Mexico's Attorney General announced that after reviewing newly released federal documents, investigators believe the ranch deserves another look. They are now seeking access to unredacted FBI files. Files that could potentially reveal information that was never made public. The decision has reignited fears that critical evidence may still exist. That key details may have been overlooked. Or worse, intentionally hidden. And then came one of the most disturbing developments of all. Authorities are reviewing an anonymous communication included in federal case files that made horrifying claims about what may have happened on the property. The claims remain unverified. But they were serious enough to trigger renewed investigative interest. Officials have made it clear they are treating the situation seriously. A truth commission has now been formed. Lawmakers want answers. They want to know why Epstein wasn't more aggressively investigated in certain jurisdictions. They want to know if opportunities to stop him earlier were missed. And perhaps most importantly, they want to know if anyone helped protect him. Because that question has haunted this case from the very beginning. Epstein didn't operate in isolation. He moved in elite circles. He had connections, influence, access. Which leads to the development that may have the biggest impact of all. There are now renewed discussions about releasing additional classified files connected to Epstein. For years, many documents remained sealed, redacted, hidden from public view. Officials often cited privacy concerns, ongoing investigations, or legal restrictions. But public pressure has never gone away. People want transparency. People want answers. People want to know who Epstein was connected to, and how far his influence really reached. The possibility of new files being released has reignited intense interest in the case. Because if those documents contain new information, they could reshape everything people thought they knew. And that's what makes this moment different from before. This isn't just about the past anymore. It's about the present. Because every new deposition, every reopened investigation, every newly reviewed document, brings the possibility that the full story has yet to be told. Jeffrey Epstein is gone. But the questions he left behind are very much alive. Questions about power. Questions about influence. Questions about who knew, and who didn't. And now, after years of silence, the case is moving again. Slowly. Quietly. But undeniably. Which raises the question no one can ignore anymore. What happens if the truth is still out there, waiting to be uncovered?